Greetings everyone, this is the Hipster Snek, and today I'm going to try out a trip back down Spoon River. I read the itch.io page and they said it was based on a collection of poems, and I'm totally down for artsy stuff, so maybe this will help. A trip back down Spoon River is an interactive experience based on Edgar Lee Masters' Spoon River anthology. All 3D assets and shaders, as well as most textures and scripts, were created by me, and it sure took me a while. Due to time constraints, it is not entirely complete, but one hopes it should be playable from start to finish. Please enjoy, Lorenzo Drago. Well, thank you, Mr. Drago, for creating this for me, and for everyone to enjoy. It is available on the itch.io page. As said, I will have the link down in the description. But let's get started. My potato does not like this. That is, this is legit beautiful. Seriously, that water effect by itself is already, kind of amazing. Oh, am I stopping? Am I departing here? Here rest 12 memories of the deceased residents of Spoon River. Find them and restore them. Ah, no, this isn't like Amnesia, where I have to keep tabs on this thing. The Unknown. Ye aspiring ones, listen to the story of the Unknown, who lies here with no stone to mark the place. As a boy, reckless and wanton, wandering with gun in hand through the forest near the mansion of Aaron Hatfield, I shot a hawk perched on the top of a dead tree. He fell with guttural cry at my feet, his wing broken. Then I put him in a cage, where he lived many days, cawing angrily at me when I offered him food. Daily I search the realms of Hades for the soul of the hawk, that I may offer him the friendship of one whom life wounded and caged. Alexander Throckmorton. In youth, my wings were strong and tireless, but I did not know the mountains. In age, I knew the mountains, that my weary wings could not follow my vision. Genius is wisdom and youth. What is this, a burial stake? Like a makeshift cross? Oh jeez, I saw that camera tripod and I thought it was a person standing there, staring at me. Come on. Okay. This guy is very worried about twisting his ankles, so we're going to go around and have a look. What are we photographing? Pinowit, the artist. I lost my patronage in Spoon River from trying to put my mind in the camera to catch the soul of the person. The very best picture I ever took was of Judge Somers, attorney at law. He sat upright and had me pause till he got his cross-eye straight. Then when he was ready, he said, "All right." And I yelled, "Overruled," and his eye turned up. I caught him just as he used to look when saying, "I accept." That's an old school camera. You don't see them like this anymore. Pinowit the artist, 5th January 1879, aged 50 years and 47 days. Ah, that's the... So, these are the 12 people I'm trying to seek out, I'm assuming. So I have found the cameraman. Well, nothing but the direct approach. Oh dear. The town marshal. The prohibitionists made me town marshal when the saloons were voted out, because when I was a drinking man, before I joined the church, I killed a Swede at the sawmill near Maple Grove, and they wanted a terrible man, grim, righteous, strong, courageous, and a hater of saloons and drinkers, to keep law and order in the village. And they presented me with a loaded cane with which I struck Jack McGuire, before he drew the gun with which he killed the prohibitionists, spent their money in vain to hang him, for in a dream I appeared to one of the 12 jurymen, and I told him the whole secret story. 14 years were enough for killing me. The town marshal. Well, I guess that was another memory restored. That one was kind of easy. No, that's not going to happen. I'm not familiar with the body of works this game is deriving its inspiration from. Deacon Taylor. I belonged to the church and to the party of prohibition, and the villagers thought I died of eating watermelon. In truth, I had cirrhosis of the liver. For every noon for 30 years, I slipped behind the prescription partition in Trainer's Drug Store and poured a generous drink from the bottle marked Spiritus Fermenti. Aged in wood. The texture details are out of this world. Memento Morium Spiritus Fermenti 100 proof. I can't quite read that small text. Well, here's to you, Deacon Taylor. We all have our habits. Some among us spirits. And if you're as lame as me, Dr. Pepper. And Cherry Coke. I didn't even see something there. Oh, it's a bird's nest. Thomas Ross, Jr. This I saw with my own eyes. A cliff swallow made her nest in a hole in the high clay bank, there near Miller's Ford. But no sooner were the young hatched than a snake crawled up to the nest to devour the brood. Then the mother swallowed with swift flutterings and shrill cries, fought at the snake, blinding him with the beat of her wings, until he, wriggling and rearing his head, fell backward down the bank into Spoon River and was drowned. Scarcely an hour passed until a shrike impaled the mother swallow on a thorn. As for myself, I overcame my lower nature, only to be destroyed by my brother's ambition. Thomas Ross. That's some good draw distance. I can see things. Lantern. There we go. Emily Sparks. It's circled in, looks like 2 places. I can't tell if that line is water damage or if it's trying to connect the 2 points. But you wouldn't go to the North Pole to make that trip. And now that I have completely disoriented this thing, this is hopeless. Where is my boy, in what far part of the world? The boy I loved best of all in the school, I, the teacher, the old maid, the virgin heart, who made them all my children. Did I know my boy all right, thinking of him a spirit of flame, active, ever aspiring. Oh, boy, boy, for whom I prayed and prayed, in many a watchful hour at night. Do you remember the letter I wrote you of the beautiful love of Christ, and whether you ever took it or not? My boy, wherever you are, work for your soul's sake, that all the clay of you, all of the dross of you, may yield to the fire of you, till the fire is nothing but light, nothing but light. Well, not going that way. You keep finding these things kind of by accident. Schofield's Pat? April 22nd, 1873. Can't quite see what it says on that side. Rosie Roberts. I was sick, but more than that, I was mad at the crooked police and the crooked game of life. So I wrote to the chief of police in Peoria. I am here in my girlhood home in Spoon River, gradually wasting away. But come and take me. I killed the son of the merchant prince and Madame Luz, and the papers that said he killed himself in his home while cleaning his gun lied like the devil to hush up scandal for the bribe of advertising. In my room I shot him at Madame Luz because he knocked me down when I said that in spite of all the money he had, I'd see my lover that night. Well then. What is that, ink? No. Definitely not. Dora Williams. When Reuben Paintier ran away and threw me, I went to Springfield. There I met a lush, whose father just deceased left him a fortune. He married me when drunk. My life was wretched. A year passed, and one day they found him dead. That made me rich. I moved on to Chicago. After time met Tyler Roundtree, villain. I moved on to New York. A gray-haired magnate went mad about me, so another fortune. He died one night, right in my arms, you know. I saw his purple face for years thereafter. There was almost a scandal. I moved on, this time to Paris. I was now a woman, insidious, subtle, versed in the world, and rich. My sweet apartment near the Champs-Élysées became a center for all sorts of people, musicians, poets, dandies, artists, nobles, where we spoke French and German, Italian, English. I wed Count Navigato, native of Genoa. We went to Rome. He poisoned me, I think. Now in the Campo Santo, overlooking the sea where young Columbus dreamed new worlds. See what they chiseled, Contessa Navigato implora eterna quiete. Everything kind of is in a relatively small area. That might be by necessity, given the graphical quality. Pauline Barrett. Almost a shell of a woman after the surgeon's knife, and almost a year to creep back into strength. Till the dawn of our wedding decennial found me my seeming self again. We walked the forest together by a path of soundless moss and turf, but I could not look in your eyes, and you could not look in my eyes. For such sorrow as ours, the beginning of grey in your hair, and I but a shell of myself. And what did we talk of, sky and water, anything most to hide our thoughts? And then your gift of wild roses set on the table to grace our dinner. Poor heart, how bravely you struggled to imagine and live a remembered rapture. Then my spirit drooped as the night came on, and you left me alone in my room for a while, as you did when I was a bride, poor heart. And I looked in the mirror, and something said, one should be all dead when one is half dead. Nor ever mock life, nor ever cheat love. And I did it looking there in the mirror. Dear, have you ever understood? I'll be honest, I haven't a clue. I've never read this work before, so I don't have the broader context for exactly what's happening here, except for a more obvious and fairly literal interpretation. What is this? Sardines? Yeah, sardines. Norwegian sardines. Homer Clapp. Often a Clute at the gate refused me the parting kiss, saying we should be engaged before that, and just with a distant clasp of the hand, she bade me good night as I brought her home, from the skating rink or the revival. No sooner did my departing footsteps die away than Lucius Atherton, so I learned when Anur went to Peoria, stole in at her window or took her riding, behind his spanking team of bays into the country. The shock of it made me settle down, and I put all the money I got from my father's estate into the canning factory to get the job of head accountant, and lost it all. And then I knew I was one of life's fools whom only death would treat as equal of other men, making me feel like a man. Sounds like that guy had a pretty bad run on things. Oh, I can grab the object through the headstone. Alright, not sure what I was expecting. Reuben Pantier. Well, Emily Sparks, your prayers were not wasted. Your love was not all in vain. I owe whatever I was in life to your hope that would not give me up, to your love that saw me still as good. Dear Emily Sparks, let me tell you the story. I passed the effect of my father and mother. The milliner's daughter made me trouble, and out I went into the world, where I passed through every peril known of wine and women and joy of life. One night in a room in the Rue de Rivoli, I was drinking wine with a black-eyed coquette, and the tears swam into my eyes. She, though they were amorous tears, and smiled, for thought of her conquest over me. My soul was 3,000 miles away, in the days when you taught me in Spoon River. And just because you no more could love me, nor pray for me, nor write me letters, the eternal silence of you spoke instead. And the black-eyed coquette took the tears of hers, as well as the deceiving kisses I gave her. Somehow, from that hour, I had a new vision, dear Emily Sparks. That's a lot of sardine cans. Okay, I think I've cleared this room. Okay, how many have we found? Those four, 2. So I'm missing Jack. Is this Jack? Yes, it is. They would have lynched me had I not been secretly hurried away to the jail at Peoria. And yet I was going peacefully home, carrying my jug, a little drunk, when Logan, the marshal, halted me, called me a drunken hound, and shook me. And when I cursed him for it, struck me with that prohibition-loaded cane. All this before I shot him. They would have hanged me except for this. My lawyer, Kinsey Keene, was helping to land old Thomas Rhodes for wrecking the bank, and the judge was a friend of Rhodes and had wanted him to escape. Kinsey offered to quit on Rhodes for 14 years for me. And the bargain was made. I served my time, and I learned to read and write. That's everyone, right? Whoa. We stand about this place, we the memories, and shades our eyes because we dread to read. June 17th, 1884, aged 21 years and 3 days, and all things are changed. And we the memories, stand here for ourselves alone, for no eye marks us, or would know why we are here. Your husband is dead, your sister lives far away, your father is bent with age. He has forgotten you, he scarcely leaves the house anymore. No one remembers your exquisite face, your lyric voice. How you sang even on the morning you were stricken with piercing sweetness, with thrilling sorrow, before the advent of the child which died with you. It is all forgotten, save by us, the memories who are forgotten by the world. All is changed, save the river and the hill, even they are changed. Only the burning sun and the quiet stars are the same. And we the memories, stand here in awe, our eyes closed with the weariness of tears, and immeasurable weariness. All memories have been restored. You may not leave, or if you wish to, you may prolong your stay in Spoon River a little longer. So, this last person was the 12th. Once I had the first 11... Oh, it's daytime now. Ah, the items are back where they first came from. But I've set up the poems and the candles at each of their headstones. So I guess my work here is done. Mourning for the dead is a benefit only the living get. Or rather, maybe it's the opposite. Things like funerals and mourning are for the living. The dead are beyond those things. Where'd my boat go? I pulled up over here, didn't I? Oh, I can literally just wade out waist deep into the water. Well... Well, deciding lack of anything better to do, I guess this is a good spot to collect my thoughts. This is not really the sort of game I normally pick up. I think that's abundantly clear by now. But my friend, the Clumsy Cat Queen, suggested this one to me. And there is definitely a type of beauty in the poetry. I'll be honest, I didn't fully understand it. I think I'm missing a lot of context, is the thing. And towards the end, I started seeing recurring names where other characters would refer to other characters by name. Ones that we had read the poems for at previous moments in the game. And honestly, free verse poetry is not my favorite form. It kind of all felt a little heady to me. This is a beautiful game, and of course the body of works chosen for it were indeed very well written. I enjoyed reading them and getting an appreciation for seeing a physical context for each of them. Seeing the items left behind by each of them, and seeing the gathering of people who once inhabited this place. It's all very interesting. But I'll be honest, it left me wanting a bit more. Like, maybe if each poem, instead of being accompanied by a memento, was shown some kind of flashback or of some part of the greater story. For a good part of it, I wasn't sure where the story was even set, or who the story was really about, or when. It wasn't until some places and dates were dropped later on that I finally kind of got that much. It seems like I'm kind of in this little enclosure. I don't think I can go further now. Honestly, I enjoyed this, and maybe there's more to the game. It doesn't seem like there is, given that last little text crawl inviting me to spend more time here or move on. This was a really interesting experience, definitely out of the ordinary. I wish it was a little bit more, because I felt a bit lost throughout the proceedings. And maybe I'm just a Philistine, maybe I'm just too dumb to appreciate this. That is entirely possible. Leave your comments down below, you guys tell me what you think, and this is the Hipster Snek, signing off.